go. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the Men and Women for Others series. Today we will be discussing with the class of 2020, and they will be offering the reflections. My name is Chris Holguin. I'm an associate director in the Office of Student Involvement, and I'll be your host tonight. But I am joined with a lovely panelists as well as some special guests. So just talking through some logistics really quick. Since we are on Facebook Live, if you, as we're going through the discussion and you hear people talking, etc., please feel free to comment and show your love through the like button or the other different emotions that you can express with that. And then feel free to ask any questions. I'll be taking a look at the comment section as we progress and try to get some questions to ask the panelists as well. Again, thank you for joining us tonight. And then without further ado, I would like to introduce our panelists. Marialena, do you want to take it away?
Hi everyone, my name is Marialena Bevilacqua. I'm the president of the class of 2020, and while at Holy Cross, I also served as an orientation leader. The Eucharistic minister, was the captain of the women's club lacrosse team, and was a member of the women's club hockey team.
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Hoang. I am a computer science major and neuroscience minor on campus. I'm involved in dining service, working at the chaplain's office, Pride and CAB.
Hi everyone, I'm Maddie Petroni. I'm a neuroscience major at the college. This year I've been involved in the Spring Break Immersion Program, the Dance Marathon Steering Committee, Fall Gateways Orientation, and I'm a member of XChrome.
What's up, y'all? I'm Manny Alvarez. I'm a Spanish and Latino Studies major. I'm a part of Club Baseball, AC First. There's a lot to remember. I don't have them on the top of my head, but if you know me, you got it.
Then over to Emily and Patrick.
Hi everyone, I'm Emily Rower Davis. I work in the chaplain's office as an assistant chaplain and also as the director of domestic immersions, and happy to be with you all.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Patrick Rogers. I use he, him pronouns. I am an assistant director in the Office of Student Involvement, and within my role, I serve as the advisor to the class of 2020 class officers.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for introducing yourselves. So without further ado, I'll kind of just get some questions going so we can get straight into the conversation. So obviously we're all at home right now and y'all just finished your classes, kind of just, wrapping up the semester. So just kind of the first question, what have you been up to the last couple of weeks? Just tell us how you've been.
I can start. I actually live on the same street as all 7 of my cousins, so we've kind of all been quarantined together, and it's kind of like I have a little pack on my street that I get to hang out with. So that's definitely been an up the past few weeks to be able to have that social interaction while like not being social with anyone else. So that's been a really good plus for the past few weeks.
I could go. So me, I actually been not doing the right thing. So I've been actually catching on to different types of like hobbies. So I've actually been trying out biking a lot lately, which is something I've never tried before. I mean, I always bike, as a kid, bike or stuff like that. But I've actually been trying to bike for like miles, which is really fun. And at the same time, it's handling business because I've been eating a lot. So, it's compensated for both things. So, yeah.
Manny, really quick, what's your favorite meal that you've been eating?
My favorite meal? All right, so this is heavy right here. So this is something that like at least in a Hispanic household you eat a lot, which is rice. You can never miss out with rice, but rice is I always have to have rice on my plate because it's just the best thing. But something that I've been eating a lot that's my favorite and I ask for all the time, graduated, but is arroz con guandule y carne, which is rice and peas and beef. So like it's kind of like seasoned beef, and it's kind of like beef stew, but it's a little bit drier and it tastes amazing. So I recommend go to the Dominican restaurant and go eat that.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, I've been picking up hobbies and doing like puzzles. I just bought a ukulele, so I'm teaching myself how to play a ukulele. Also just FaceTiming and Zooming friends and just keeping up with them and seeing how they're doing as well.
Nice.
Something I've enjoyed doing since being home is going on walks with my sister and my dog. We were just talking about beforehand how the weather is becoming nicer. Maybe not so much today, but at least in Massachusetts it was a little colder. But I've enjoyed just like sitting on our deck and reading or listening to podcasts. And like Lisa and Manny, I've been trying to find a hobby to occupy myself with. And I like making string art. Emily knows I've shown her some of my string art before. And I told my sister that I'd make her one of Sicily with the Sicilian flag inside of it. So I finally got a piece of wood to make it. So I'll be starting that up soon, which will be good to take up some time.
That's awesome. Thank you all for sharing. So definitely some time that we've had to pick up new hobbies or enjoy, the people that we're with around us and getting to eat good food as well. So really I had asked or sent y'all some questions to think about as you reflect on the 4 years that you've been on the Hill. And I guess one of the questions I know I had asked y'all is if you can pinpoint kind of like one of your favorite memories. But I kind of want to take it year by year. So kind of going back to your first year, what would you say is one of your favorite memories of your freshman year?
The Pain concert, like 100%. That was the best spring concert that I've been to while at Holy Cross.
What made it so great for you? And who was it?
Everyone thought the weather was gonna be terrible and like make it so much worse, but I think it amplified the whole experience so much more. I'm just grateful that it rained and like getting back in the dorms and everyone had mud everywhere. I think it was a blast. It was definitely a good memory.
Awesome.
I definitely agree with MD. I think when you brought that up, it was just, I just have these distinct memories of everybody like dancing in the mud down on freshman field and just tracking all the dirt and mud up into the dorms. And yeah, those definitely sticks out in my mind. But one thing also that I just like distinctly remember from my first year was like move-in day, just how all of the OLs were just like yelling and like cheering, and literally just like swarmed the car and grabbed all of our belongings. Feel like my family group weren't expecting that at all, and it was like it really made us feel welcome, and it was nice because we didn't have to carry our stuff. So.
I'll say my favorite moment of freshman year would be Odyssey. I really loved Odyssey just because I kind of got a sense of what campus was like before everyone was on campus. And also because I remember like meeting a lot of great people, and those people that I met are like some of my greatest friends at Holy Cross. So we kind of we were able to be like a group of people that I don't know, like I hold dearly till today. And then yeah, like I've been with them since the start of college, and how can you forget that?
For me, freshman year, I think taking a walk around in the Hogan Ballroom for the extravaganza, I feel like that moment was a moment where I saw so many clubs I could be involved in on campus. That kind of sparked that interest in being more involved in Holy Cross than just the academics.
Awesome. Thank you all for sharing. Now, kind of going into your sophomore and junior years, what are some of the memories that stand out for y'all? I know it was a long time ago. It's okay.
I think sophomore year, I would have to say spring break immersion. I went to Alamosa, Colorado, and to have my first trip be a flight trip and go that far, and then meet like all these new incredible people I wouldn't have met otherwise. Like one of them's my best friend today. So like I'm super grateful for that experience. And I think junior year was serving as an orientation leader. It was my first year doing it, and it's just if anyone ever gets to do it, I highly recommend it. But it's an incredible experience, and just like immersion, you get to meet so many people you wouldn't have met otherwise.
Yeah, I want to piggyback on Marialena because I was in her group to Alamosa, sophomore year to Alamosa. And I went on spring break my freshman year as well, but I think my sophomore group was like very special. It was like mostly sophomores in the group as well. So I feel like that what's made it more special because like we continued our friendship throughout the years. And I don't know, just spring break immersion, definitely sophomore year was special to me.
Yeah, I'd say sophomore year would probably be living on Easy Street. I mean, we lived it since the start, but Haley, second floor, that was a good floor. I don't know, maybe for the people that are in the chat, Facebook Live right now, would like remember it, but we made some really great memories there, made a lot of good friends there. And it was just great. It was great vibes. Like it was like what you wish college was, what you saw in like movies or whatever. That's what it was, and like I always hold it dearly. Healy, second floor, I love y'all.
It's hard to pick. I think like Lisa, Marialena, I also really loved spring break immersion because that was my first year doing it. And I just like loved it so much. I knew that I wanted to be a leader senior year. But also I was like thinking back about it just sophomore year. And I remember my friends and I, we'd always like, there would be many Friday nights where we just sit in Kimball and have like long dinners and like until Kimball was closing. And I think those were just like some of the best nights, just like sitting and like having fun and laughing. Something that I definitely missed this year because we were on like the apartment plan and so we wouldn't go to Kimball as much. But those were like some really, really great memories from sophomore year.
Awesome. And how about going into your junior year? Now you're halfway through your journey at Holy Cross. You're about to start your second half. What are some highlights from there? Did anybody go abroad? Maybe.
Yeah, I went abroad for the entire year, which was really interesting because I wasn't actually planning on going abroad. But sophomore year, I decided to apply to Oxford University for the year-long program, and I do not regret that decision at all because it was like it really did complete my Holy Cross experience. It was a very different place, like very different way of learning. Because of the whole like educational system is very different, and also I just met so many incredible people that I am like still in touch with, and I'm just like really grateful that I was able to grow through that experience because it was definitely a challenging year, and it just provided me with so many like unforgettable memories as well.
Yeah, I'd say junior year had to be my favorite year out of all four. Just because, like, it's gonna be a little long, so please bear with me. So my junior year, I was planning on just going back onto campus and having a regular junior year. But then I received an email saying like, "Oh, would you like to apply to the New York semester?" And I'm like, you know what, let's try it out. Not knowing if I would get in, especially it was 2 weeks before move-in day into New York. And I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna try it out. And I actually tried it out. I got in, and listen, it was the best decision I've ever made. Like, till this day, I made a lot of decisions. And I still want to say, like, this was a really life-changing one. Just for the fact about, like, I met a lot of great people there that I hold dearly. Like, I really love everyone that I've spent that semester with. But also because it changed like my whole future. Like I always say this, but like I don't think I would be the person I am today, or I don't think I would have the opportunities I have today if it wasn't for that semester. And also for Allison as well. Like Allison, Mangera, which was the teacher for the NYC semester. I like thank her a lot because she believed in me, although a lot of other professors didn't. And I don't know, after like we spoke for a while and I was like, yo, Allison, like, what do you think? And she's like, listen, Manny, like, you just gotta be yourself, be your thing, and you'll be great. And after we spoke about that, man, like, I'm just, you know, I'm in a good place, and I really just love that whole semester.
I think Lisa didn't go abroad either junior year. I didn't go abroad. And I think something we probably can both speak to is the fact that it was such a different vibe on campus both semesters because of how many people were incoming from a semester abroad or leaving. And I think something that I was really grateful for is meeting the people that I met those semesters because I was forced out of my comfort zone with the people I had been so close with. They were abroad. And Manny's definitely one of those people that I had met that year when he came back from New York that I was so grateful for. So I think being able to kind of spread my horizons with different types of people, with different groups of people that I wouldn't have met otherwise if I hadn't stayed the whole entire year. So I was really grateful for staying on campus my junior year.
My favorite moment of junior year, I feel like a lot of people who know me already know like this is my like pride and joy, but hosting a conference at Holy Cross for the LGBTQIA plus community was something that like I poured my heart and soul into with Adam Colshaw, and we went on the conference the year was like, we want to bring this conference onto Holy Cross. We think that Holy Cross is ready for it. And so we started working on it right when we landed back at Holy Cross, and we were like, met with Michelle Rosa, Chris, anybody who would potentially like help us out with this. And we got the bid, and we planned a great conference. And to this day, I can't stop thinking about it or talking about it. Yeah, that conference was something that made my junior year special because like it was another level step of leadership and commitment that I was able to add on to my year. And it really helped me grow as a leader.
Awesome. It was such a pleasure to work with you, Adam, Michelle, on that project. And I'm glad that, you know, that conference was so impactful, not just on campus, but for you individually as well. Thank you all for providing that. We're not going to go straight into senior year yet. I'm going to go over to our special guest really quick, but I am going to ask the seniors to think about their senior year, about one of their favorite memories, one. Two, think of just overall your journey at Holy Cross, kind of like one of the biggest challenges that you had and how you overcame that. And then later on, I'm also going to give you all an opportunity to give some shout outs to the people that helped you throughout this journey. And just in general, whether it's, you know, your peers or faculty or staff. So just keep those questions in your head and think about as I'm going over to Emily and Patrick next. So Emily and Patrick. So first, I'd like you to talk a little bit about your favorite memories of working with the class of 2020. Emily, you've seen the class of 2020 throughout their 4 years. Patrick, you've had this year to be working with them and very closely. So if you could give us maybe a few or one of your favorite memories of working with the class of 2020, and then also the opportunity to ask a specific question if you would like of the panelists.
Yeah, I'm happy to share some special memories of the class of 2020. I think, you know, my job over the last 4 years has shifted a little bit. So 4 years ago, I was doing primarily liturgy and worship in the chaplain's office. And so I got to know a lot of members of the class of 2020 through that, and also through like helping with the spiritual exercises and just people popping into Campion to come, you know, set up meetings or spiritual direction or just, you know, kind of one-on-ones. 2 years ago, my job shifted to immersions, and I think that's where I really got to know some members of the class of 2020 especially well. In particular, the leaders I worked with for spring break immersion, two of whom are on this panel, Maddie and Lisa. So I have to say, working with this group of 29 seniors this year was nothing short of a privilege. To see all the work that they put into this program, to see how they come together as a group. Some of them knew each other well, some didn't know each other very well, but we go on a retreat in late January, and to see everybody kind of really come together on that retreat for this kind of common purpose was so powerful for me and really, really meaningful. As well as all the seniors who have participated in spring break through the years, and just other ways too. So I think for me, what it boils down to is just being able to hear people's stories, whether it's working with the spring break leaders, meeting with students for spiritual direction, or just one-on-one conversation, talking to students on retreats. The best part of my job is being able to hear about students' lives and stories. So I think that's where I kind of hold, those are the memories that I hold most dear.
Awesome, thank you. Over to Patrick.
So as Chris mentioned, I'm in a unique position because I began my position at Holy Cross in June of last year of 2019. So I've really only got to know the class of 2020 as they've been seniors. And in my role, I work with a lot of our student organizations, with our orientation leaders, and then, as I mentioned at the start of this, the class of 2020 class officers. So I think specifically, my perspective on the class of 2020 has been working with them working with the class officers and planning their large class events. So in particular, I think one of my favorite memories is the week after Senior Ball. Senior Ball is an annual event each year, as you all know, I think you all attended, bringing the class together, celebrating being seniors, and planning the event with Marialena and the other class officers, and meeting a lot of seniors, or seeing a lot of seniors there that I've been working with in other student leadership capacities was really great. But I think the week after, kind of connecting with students, or saying, how was your time? Did you enjoy it? What is your favorite memory from it? And just kind of like seeing their faces light up at what is such a traditional and like hallmark Holy Cross memory is just something that was very cool. So the event itself, planning the event was extraordinary, but the week after, I think seeing that memory come to life for students and feeling like it was a piece of their Holy Cross experience, it was just very, very special. So I think that's been one of the best parts of working with the class of 2020.
Awesome. Now, do either of you have any questions for our panelists?
I do have a question for you all. It's sort of a two-part question. I hope that's okay. So my question is, obviously these last couple of months have been unusual, to say the least. I'm wondering what from your Holy Cross experience helped prepare you for this, and what have you learned about yourself over the last 2 months that you will carry forward?
I think in the past few months, something that I've kind of carried through that I definitely gained from Holy Cross was a sense of community. And although we weren't all together, I think I've gotten closer and had more of a willingness to maintain relationships with friends because of the fact that we weren't able to have these last few months together. And I think scheduling those weekly Zoom calls or checking in at like every other day to just check if people are okay or what they're up to is something, that sense of community that I've always gained from Holy Cross. And I think also Holy Cross really helped me with my spiritual life. I was a Catholic. I've been a Catholic my whole life, but being at Holy Cross, I've really been able to enhance my faith. And I think I've prayed more than I've ever prayed my whole life these past 2 months. And I'm really grateful for that because that kind of keeps me afloat. So.
I mean, I would say the same too. The sense of community. We keep talking about how we make great friends during our time at Holy Cross. But once you're in a time where there's a lot of hardship and stuff like that, you tend to want to hear good voices, those voices that you dearly hold close to you. And like during this time, that the amount of like love that and like positivity that has been going around has been like amazing. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we have people that you just try to make sure everyone's okay. Like, you know, you might just one phone call can bring like so much happiness into someone, and that's something that I have been noticing a lot through like, you know, these past couple weeks, these past couple months, especially for us. You know, this is terribly unusual, you know, like not being able to graduate and like, you know, finish our college careers the right way. But, you know, just looking past that and just being happy that we made it and that we finally, you know, get to say that we're like Holy Cross grads and, you know, celebrating each other through social media, text, calls. It just feels amazing. You know what I mean? You would think that, oh no, everything's gonna suck, but no. You know, all we can do is be positive and wait till you know, next year, which thank God we can at least graduate, you know, in 2021, which I know will be an amazing time to find a degree with everyone that we love,
right?
Yeah, something the last week that we were at Holy Cross, a mentor told me that you're not the only senior who's going through this, and that high school seniors and other seniors at other colleges are going through this as well, where a chunk of our time is missing due to the COVID. So just being more positive and spreading that love around towards other people is what I've been trying to do at home, motivating like my parents, my other family members to like stay safe, and like the essential workers around my community, just motivating them and like spreading that love and positivity, as Manny said, is something like I've been trying to do while in quarantine.
I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I also feel like the community at Holy Cross has really helped me get through this time. I was able to participate in Communitas just a few weeks ago, which was like this 5-week virtual retreat, which I thought it had like 80 people participating on like these Zoom sessions, and it just like really helped me get through the weeks, because I always like felt so much better after talking to my small group, and they were really good at like seeing, while acknowledging that we were in like a bad situation, they were able to see the positives or look for the positives and share that with us, which I really appreciated. And like people have been saying, just whether it's just calling your friends and checking in on them, like the little acts can go a long way. Like just last week, I think the class of 1970, they sent us a letter saying that like they understood what we were going through because a similar thing happened to them. And so that just like, that really touched me, because I thought it really just goes to show how strong the Holy Cross community is. And just like that little act of sending a letter to us was really meaningful and just kind of like made my day. So.
I have a question for all of you. And as I mentioned, I've only got to know you all over this last year, so it's so fascinating for me to hear your favorite memories from your first year at the college or your sophomore, junior years. And with that said, I'm kind of curious to hear, you share your favorite memories, but to go a little bit deeper, I want to hear, all of you seem like you have found your place at Holy Cross at one point. I want to hear what that point was for you. Like, at what time did you feel like Holy Cross was a place that you belong? At what point did you feel like Holy Cross was your place?
I think this is just a really tough question, because I think I didn't completely find it until senior fall. And I know that sounds a little crazy. It's not that I didn't love Holy Cross going through, but it was all the little bumps in the road that kind of made me appreciate it even more, because I realized that throughout the struggles I had, or throughout the things that were harder for me than others, or throughout the really great moments, I learned so much from all those things, and I wouldn't have done that if that wasn't for Holy Cross. And I don't think I fully came to that realization until senior fall. And I think it finally fell into place senior fall, because everyone was back on campus together. And I think it was just such a good feeling, sense of, like we said, community that we were able to have our senior year. So I think just going through all the ups and downs really landed me by senior year, unfortunately. But I'm really grateful for all those moments.
Yeah, I'll say the same thing. But relating it to junior year, springtime of junior year, well, I feel like once I came back from New York semester, I felt myself being more mature and more secure on what like I wanted to do, and what I look forward to in the future as well. Also like just reflecting on my past, couple years, which I don't want to speak a lot on yet, which were pretty tough for me. And once I got to, back on campus my junior year, I had more of an idea of where and what direction I wanted to go into. Thanks to a lot of people, but yeah, I just felt more driven to, to push forward along, just not myself, but with all my other friends, and yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to pinpoint when exactly I felt like Holy Cross was like my place. Like Marialena said, I think there were separate moments along the way that contributed to me feeling like at home at Holy Cross. Because it took me, especially my first year, it took me a long time to like feel comfortable there. Whether it was like jumping around, trying to find like what friend group I really fit in with, just trying to find what activities I really wanted to spend time doing. I think just trying out a lot of different things kind of helped me along the way to figure out what it was that I really enjoyed, and who I loved spending time with. Luckily, I think that sophomore year was when I really started to feel more comfortable on campus and could really say that like I loved Holy Cross. And then there were additional experiences like throughout, like later on sophomore year, and that's actually what made it like pretty hard to leave junior year and spend a whole year away. But at the same time, then it made it like so much better when we were all back senior year. And yeah, unfortunately I can't give you an exact answer to when I kind of stuck, but I would agree that it was really just a long process, like all 4 years were a total journey that allowed me to feel like Holy Cross was like my school and my home and a place that I come to love, and what has made like this goodbye very hard. But I think that just goes to show how everybody experiences a journey.
For me, it's definitely, I feel junior year. Junior year was tough, as MB might know, and other students who were on campus might know. We had like the sit-in and many protests happening, and I feel like after the sit-in is when I really felt like I can really make a difference on Holy Cross and belong at Holy Cross, where it is more than just academics. It was like more than just being involved in clubs. It's like that leadership that each student have like made an impact on Holy Cross is where I really, really love the Holy Cross community, because seeing everyone come together, protesting, sitting in together, really made me feel like people actually care. Besides in the everyday life, when you see people at cool beans, like they're showing you a piece of themselves in silence when they're protesting. And I really, really is grateful that I've seen that with myself and reflected on it, because junior was definitely the year that made me realize that I belong at Holy Cross, and that like Holy Cross needed me there as well as other student leaders. So that was special.
Awesome. Thank you all for sharing that. That's really powerful to hear. And I just appreciate y'all being real with us and sharing those memories, because it's very easy to say like, oh yeah, I found my spot. sophomore or second semester of freshman year. So thank you for being real with us and providing that. I'll come back to Emily and Patrick a little bit later. Not kind of shifting to those questions I had asked y'all before. What are some of the challenges, or maybe just one of the biggest challenges that you had over the course of the 4 years, and how did you overcome that? Were there people that helped you out? Just walking us through. It doesn't have to be an extensive story, but just a little bit about some of the challenges that you had.
So like a lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm just gonna break it out. Lauren does. Lauren O'Neill's on. She definitely does know. She's the best. I love her so much. But I would say the beginning of like just being on Holy Cross in general was like very challenging for me. For example, like my freshman and sophomore year were very challenging years. For the fact that I knew I found a sense of community. I felt comfortable being there, but I just didn't. At the same time, I didn't feel like I was in place. Just for the fact from being, I played baseball and I was hoping to play baseball Holy Cross. So once I got onto campus, I had a whole like life change, and that wasn't a part of my schedule anymore. So getting a routine back into play was really hard. Really challenging, and then also trying to stay up with academics, especially coming from like a Boston public schools, which is doable, but at the same time it was very challenging. I found my place in like myself in like dark corners that I have put myself into. I contemplated into transferring. I didn't think I would continue on and like pass with college, but at the same time I had people like Lauren, which she knows, because like I might get a little emotional, but like she made sure that I felt like I belonged there, like she made sure yeah, I didn't think I was confident, but she gave me the power that I needed to continue on. And like, thanks, Lauren. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna shut up.
No, thank you for that, Manny. Just to let you know, Lauren is in the chat giving you some love. So she's here watching you as well. But thank you for that.
I think one challenge for me that I had was being okay with not being in a direct friend group. In high school, I went to an all-girls Catholic high school, and it was a really huge sense of community in the sense that we were all friends with each other, and there wasn't too many, oh, you have to be in this group, like these are your friends and that's it. It was really stretch yourself, and whatever you're part of, you're friends with so many different people. And I think going into college, everyone has the mindset that, oh, I'm going to be part of this friend group, and that's it. Like, that's the only people I'm going to hang out with. But I realized that there are so many people in our class that I formed relationships with through all the different things that I found that I was passionate about. And I think it took me a while to figure out that it was okay not to be in a friend group, that I have so many friends that I'm so grateful for right now that I have met through so many different things, and it's okay. I am friends with so many different groups of people, and I'm so grateful for that. So I think that was definitely a challenge at Holy Cross, being a small school as it is, but really grateful for all the friends that I've gotten through realizing that.
A challenge I found myself having throughout like my time on Holy Cross is kind of like public speaking and just being more an extrovert. I'm not the best speaker, but like over the years, like pushing myself and being surrounded by people who are like have pushed me to practice my public speaking and put myself in positions where I have to public speak. Because it's high school, like I barely did any public speaking at all. I was more of an introvert, but college really made me become more of an extrovert introvert, where there were moments where I would love being around people, but there were moments where it's okay to be alone and just takes time for myself. So that's definitely how I overcame public speaking and kind of be more comfortable in public speaking places.
I think one challenge that I've experienced over the course of my 4 years, and like something that I am still experiencing, is just kind of being able to believe in myself and in my abilities. One of my professors, actually, she's like my lab advisor and has been a mentor to me. She pointed this out. She like actually was like, "Oh, this is like imposter syndrome. You know, when you feel like you're just like way out of your league, and like everybody experiences at some point or another." And that I found like when I'm in situations where I'm out of my comfort zone, or I am like in a position that I just don't feel like I'm qualified for when I'm like in my head. Sometimes that can make me like very anxious, and kind of learning how to deal with that throughout the 4 years. It has taken a lot of like reflection, and also just hearing like support from other people, whether it's like, for example, like being a spring break leader. I was very nervous about that, but eventually like I just learned that I was able to do that. And I think part of overcoming just like this inner just like voice in my head saying that like, oh, I can't do this, is just doing it, like just jumping into the situation and learning how to work through it. And eventually you see that like you can do it at the end, which is something I would love to know like in the beginning. But it's good to like be able to look back and realize that like, yes, you are capable, because that's definitely something that I've struggled with even before coming to Holy Cross, but I've also experienced it like throughout my 4 years. And so I think that's definitely something that I need to remember going into the future. But it's definitely something that like I'm very glad I was able to work through it, and kind of like have more knowledge about it going forward.
Maddie, off of what you just said, what is something that you all would or a piece of advice that you all would give underclassmen? So almost like, you know, looking back, if you could go back and give yourself a piece of advice, what would it be? You don't have to go first, Maddie, if you don't want to.
I can if you'd like.
You can go. It's fine.
I think part of like kind of going on top of what helped me like through those challenges was having strong relationships. I would say don't underestimate the power of like having a strong community around you, because I think like as we've seen, like community can be very important, especially in times of hardship. And I think that's something that I'm going to miss about Blake Cross, is just having all of my friends around me, like pretty much all the time. But and I think that there's just like so much love that you get from these relationships. I will never forget part of the reason like why I came to Holy Cross. When I went on my day visit, I met Meg Body, who I don't know if all of us remember. She was a senior when we were freshmen, and she had said to me, here at Holy Cross, like you will feel loved, like by professors and by students and by and like staff members. And I can say that like I'm very lucky to have experienced that. And I think that comes from like the strong relationships that I've built, because they've helped me through like the good and the bad. So I think like really making sure you surround yourself with people who will be there to support you and get you, that can be like very powerful for your college experience.
A piece of advice is like, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. I found myself going to like meetings that like BSU is hosting, or any cultural groups on campus are hosting, to kind of expand my knowledge on different culture on campus. I feel like Holy Cross is diverse, where the students have different culture and background that can really enrich your own culture and background. So don't be afraid to go to a drag show. Don't be afraid to go to a Desi fashion show. Just go for it, because I feel like those students are also willing to welcome you in as well. Like they're excited to see you there. They're excited to see new faces in the crowd to support them as well. So just don't be afraid to step out of the comfort zone.
I think some academic advice I would offer to incoming first years would be don't be so narrow-minded about your academics and where they're going to steer you, because I think I went in saying, okay, I'm going to be a physics major, like this is exactly what I'm going to do with my life, but how am I supposed to know that being 18 years old, and how are you supposed to definitely know this is my future? And I think Holy Cross offers so many things in different classes that you take. I took comparative world religion class, and I am a math major and stats minor. Like that's just not up my alley, but it made me think in so many different ways that will help me in my career with stats or with math or whatever it happens to be. But I think taking advantage of all that Holy Cross offers academically, being Jesuit and having that liberal arts education is something that I think every first year should definitely take advantage of.
I'd say the same thing, just to reiterate what everyone is saying. Like, be yourself, most importantly, and definitely step out of your comfort zone. Like, for real. Like, just to try things that you are passionate about, or things that you seem to look at like different, but would like to find out more about. Like, you know, try new things and just be a social, like, be very social with everyone. Don't limit yourself just because your group of friends don't want you to do in particular things. Like, branch out, meet new people, and network out like the best that you can. Like make as much friends as you can, and just enjoy college, because let me tell you, these 4 years fly by like they were yesterday. So.
Awesome. And just going back to the original question I had asked about favorite memories. Now going back to to this year, to your senior year. Can you give us one of your favorite memories from this year? And then also giving you the opportunity to shout out anyone, again, faculty, staff, your peers, family members, etc., that you want to, give them a shout out for being there for you, for helping you through this journey. So a combination of favorite memory and shout out to the people in your village, essentially.
My favorite memory of senior year has to be spring break immersion. Co-leading it with Dylan Clancy. That's my first shout out. Is definitely something I would cherish and remember forever. I'm glad that we were able to do spring break immersion before quarantine happened. Some other shout outs to my roommates, my friends, Adam Koshaw, Brendan Brito, Professor Kenny Hess, my Montserrat professor, OSI, Chaplain's office, and my family. Yeah.
I think my favorite memory has to be senior ball weekend, but also like Patrick said, prepping for senior ball and getting it all together. It was just so cool to see it all pan out and see how much fun it was, and like actually have an event where our whole class was together. And I hope I get everyone this shout out, but I'll just try to make it as quick as possible. All my friends who just made a video for a birthday video for me, thank you so much, all of you guys. Dylan for making that video. My family for supporting me, especially financially for Holy Cross. Professor Ruggieri and Professor Sword in the math department, making me fall in love with stats. And Emily, Father Mac in the chaplain's office, and Patrick and Kathleen in OSI. You guys all made my Holy Cross experience incredible, and I'm so grateful for all of you, so thank you.
I think my favorite experience, favorite memory from senior year has to be Fall Gateways. It was my first time being in OL, and I thought it was just like the best experience to come back to Holy Cross. It definitely put me out of my comfort zone, but I think I really grew from that, and I met so many incredible people because of it. And I think it was a great like culminating experience to show like my love for Holy Cross by welcoming in the incoming first years. So it's just something I will always remember, and really loved it. And shout out to, oh gosh, I really like all of my friends. You guys have been like a constant support network. To my lab professor and advisor, Professor Basu, been a real mentor to me like since freshman year. My family for all of their support, the chaplain's office, including Emily for especially for helping out with spring break immersion, and OSI, Patrick. It was great meeting you at the beginning of this year. You did just like an amazing job. Yeah, just everybody who makes Holy Cross. So
Shout out to my. No, I'm just playing. I want to say my favorite time at, like my favorite time for senior year in general. Like I don't have a specific moment, but I want to say every day I spent senior year, that I woke up to go to class, or anytime where I hung out with friends were just all my favorite. Just thinking at that moment that we finally made it to senior year and that we're about to graduate was just different to me, and I like cherished every moment I got to spend with everyone I did. And then I want to shout out a lot of people individually, but I'm not gonna do that because there's a lot. But first and foremost my mama. I love you. And then to all my family and friends, you guys know who you are. I'm not gonna shout out anybody individually. Career Development Center. You know what? Everybody at AC, Holy Cross. I love y'all and thank you so much for an amazing 4 years. And I can't wait to come back and for like, I don't know, alumni reunions or whatever. I'll definitely be there.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I'm sure everybody appreciates those shout outs as well. Any final words from Emily or Patrick for either the panelists or just the class of 2020 in general?
To the panelists, I just want to say thank you all. It's been so great getting to know the four of you in different ways over this year. And even though I've only known you for this last year, I've seen each of you grow in so many ways as you've become Holy Cross graduates. So congratulations, and just thank you for welcoming me into the Holy Cross community. So much of what Holy Cross has been for me over this last year, my first year working at the school, has been what you all showed me Holy Cross is. So thank you and congratulations.
Yeah, I will echo that, panelists. What a pleasure to be here with all of you, and so proud of each of you. And to the class of 2020, incredibly proud of you all as well. I think you've proven to us how resilient and creative and just all around what good human beings you are going out into the world. It makes us all so proud. My prayer and hope for you as you go out into the world and kind of step out into all these new adventures that you'll have is that you always feel that you can be yourselves in the world, and that you can move forward authentically, and you can embrace all the joy and the heartbreak that will come, and just let yourself live the adventure to the fullest. We're so proud of you.
Awesome. Thank you, Emily and Patrick. I'm just going to say a big thank you to each and every one of you, Marialena, Maddie, Lisa, and Manny. Thank you so much for one, being here tonight, but then also being able to provide, like I was saying, real reflections and your experiences, whether reflecting on it, the tough moments, but then also the really good moments, and also, shouting out those people that help you get to where you are today. I do want to give a big congratulations to the class of 2020. You did it. You're here. You just got done with finals. So congratulations. Remember to celebrate this moment with your village, right? Like you're at home right now, whether your village includes literally where you are right now or the people on campus that help you get where you are. And just know that this isn't a goodbye. This is a see you later, as we all are still here and available to connect with you all. So again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I hope everybody has a great night. Bye, everyone. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.